So, say we had some questions sent in earlier. I don't know whether they came through on email or whatever, but the first one is, I've got to take my glasses off for this. What are the key skills required by analysts in the future as the role of IT evolves? So, comments from the bench here?
I could start.
If you would, thank you.
So, from what I've just covered up there, it needs to be the analyst thinking about the system as a whole. And when I say system, I don't mean IT system. I mean the whole people, process system, how it interacts, and when an organisation says we need to change in this direction, thinking about that system and its effects as far as the change is concerned. So the skills that you're looking for, I think somebody mentioned behaviour change. I think Barney mentioned behaviour change. How to get people to think in a new way, move in a new direction. There's a lot of NLP practices out there, various other people-centric ways of thinking and being more people-centric. That would be where I would expect the analyst role to grow.
Thank you. Any other comments?
So during the last year, within the analyst community, we have really focused on the soft skills side of the BA, and I know you don't like soft skills, core competencies. We just found that all of the BAs within our organisation had a really solid business analysis, tools and practices foundation. However, we found that when we really got into the working with the business, the interpersonal skills were much more important.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to comment? Thanks. By the way, the reason that Tina mentioned I'm not too keen on the term soft skills is because I think it underscores the importance of those skills, the core skills as Tina referred to it, or the business skills that are needed. They're not soft skills. They're very hard skills needed to really get the analyst into the next level of competency. Okay, the next question. How are members maintaining knowledge of the industry, state of the art in their respective areas? Anyone like to comment?
I can start again.
If you would, please. Thank you.
From a IIBA position, it is annual conferences, thought leaders, getting people who are out there leading the way in changing the role and the ways of thinking into a room. In September, it was 400 analysts in one room, which was pretty scary. But they came out with a lot of good ways of taking that information back to their organisations and growing and developing it further. So they're, I think, leveraging the knowledge that we all have, the experiences which you guys have thrown up there, as far as what did we learn, how did we learn it, and how can somebody else leverage that information, and then we can grow and develop from that.
Actually, I'd like to respond to this one as well. You know, from what I witnessed with the analyst community that we put together here at Intel, certainly the fact that the individual analysts get together, they talk, they share their industry experiences, they share their time when they be doing rotation opportunities within the business, bring all that together raises their level of competence. And I think all this together, analysts can't do it on their own. They have to get together in communities to start to work and share together, as well as working externally with industry and also with themselves internally, brings that overall competency and raises it up. So that's, I think, another area that why these communities are so important to us. Anybody else like to comment? Okay. One from the floor. I've got one more on here, but I'm conscious I'm doing all the talking at the moment when it's reading these out. Any other questions? I'll stay quiet for one little bit longer, just in case. Okay, I'll go on to the last one. Are members aligned with the BA competencies or capability areas? Would you like to start that one? Because it's talking about members specifically.
Yes. Yeah, we're constantly asked as an organisation, because we are out there professing to grow the role, how competencies, how certification can help somebody develop their career. We've now developed, you'll see from the information, 2 areas as far as exams, as far as growing competencies is concerned, but it needs some gravitas of the role itself out in the organisations, for instance, Intel and various other organisations, to actually get some leverage to build on the exam. An exam means nothing if it's not something that is worthwhile in in the industry. We have a question.
Does the IIBA recognise ISEB?
Yes. Yeah. You'll see in some of the information, ISEB is mentioned as well as CBAP.
And that's what we're aligning to here at Intel in our professional development community, our analyst community, from an examination point of view. So IIBA membership and ISEB certification.
There's ISEB and CBAP, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact figure, but I think about 10 of our BAs are ISEB qualified, and I'm the guinea pig going through the CBAP exam at the moment.
I did ISEB 10 years ago, and thinking of doing CBAP, but I have to get my brain muscle working before I attempt it.
Okay, any other questions?
Don't these things move on? So if you did ISEB 10 years ago, wouldn't it be quite different now?
Oh, very much so, which is why I need my brain muscle to even think about doing CBAP. A couple of our directors recently did CBAP, and I saw the notes that they made, and I had to lie down for a while. So yes, no.
If I remember correctly, there's an element of continuing professional development as well to
Yes,
maintain
there
the
is.
registration. So
There is.
it's probably speakers being quite modest about that.
Thank you.
I fell off that particular.
Thanks for your questions. Any others? Chris?
Specifically around the IIBA. So you've got various chapters around the world. Do you experience any challenges integrating the learnings that happen within each of those chapters or countries? And have you got any methods that you could help multinational companies like ourselves achieve that same sort of level of integration?
Your Innovation Days is a great start. What we found at the annual conference this year, 60... I can't even remember the number, but there was a large amount of different nationalities there in the note somewhere that actually makes the notes. Everybody experiences the same problems. I didn't realise that you could actually draw a line all the way around the world and say, you know, from an analyst point of view, do you have a problem with stakeholder management? Yes, we do. How do you get financial? Yes, we do. How do you do this? Yes, we do. So language is not a barrier, because everybody who went to the conference came out with a, oh, you experienced that too, and came away with something positive. So from a multinational point of view, the Innovation Days, anything which gets your people into a room talking about the same problems.
And does your organisation, if I may follow up, does your organisation share what each chapter's conference results are? Or
ours is out there on the website at the moment. And Iran were talking about something that they want to run soon. America have just had their annual conference. It's all out there. It's up for grabs. Because one of the things I love about being a business analyst and also the IIBA is the fact that it is a community and we are sharing. We're all at the same level of understanding the role, understanding the needs of the stakeholders, and I'm talking an awful lot. So.
I think I mean, I don't know how many people here are IIBA members. Here we go. As
You've
somebody
got
who's
one
been.
like me. It's my ex-boss.
Does it work? Yeah.
This is
No,
my
don't worry about
ex-boss.
that. Which is always
this out
interesting. I mean, I usually go up to. I've been a member for 3-4 years, going up into London. So this is my first sort of visit out. So a whole set of new faces. So as a community. Yeah. So I mean, who are members and who are just here for the first time? Just out of interest, because. Yeah.
Wow.
Both a member and first time here. Yeah. But first time here. But in terms of, I was just interested. I mean, I think as a community analyst, are generally we are open to new ideas. So all the chapters, if you're a member, you've got access to all of the resources that are published online. Through the UK chapter. If you get I go to attend virtually. Because we're in the virtual world. Apart from time zones where the stuff from the US is generally, late at night, but they can be replayed. So, I find I dip in when I've got time to look at all the resources from different chapters around the world. I can only understand that's in English, but for some of the chapters, I'm sure. But I think it's a very good community, for sharing. So it's interesting when you're saying how do you integrate. I think it's just finding the time, which is probably the biggest challenge. There is so much useful information out there. Balancing that against the day job and knowing to be guided. But I think the sort of BA framework and things that they've got, the competencies, you can decide where you are on your journey and decide whether you want the basics or the the positives.
And going back to the growing the competencies, the BABOK, the Book of Knowledge for the BA community, has just added. I work in an agile web factory for a telecoms organisation, and the BABOK has just added an agile chapter. So as something gets some gravitas, gets some leverage, and the community as a whole agrees that it's something worth developing, then it's added to that knowledge area.
Good questions. Thank you, Chris. Any others?
Yeah, I'm a member, but like from Monday.
I will let you off.
So, well, my question is, being new, what would you recommend the best place to start? And sort of, I mean, no way have we all got the same competencies. So, what should I be looking at in terms of levelling out my competencies with what you think everybody should do?
I personally would start with the BABOK, because you can then do your pick and choose about which pieces of knowledge you already have an understanding about, and either leverage those or move into other areas that you want to expand into. As I say, I work in an agile web factory at the moment, so I skim-read the agile piece and went, oh yeah, that's good. But there's other areas in the full BABOK that I haven't even touched yet. And I am a senior BA, so it's an ever-growing, developing role. I get quite excited about it, so.
I assume when you meant Agile was another chapter, a chapter in the BABOK rather than a chapter like the UK.
It's in the BABOK. Yeah. Sorry, it's in the BABOK.
Pages of
yes.
A new supplement that's been added to the body of knowledge around what does a business analyst mean.
Right. I've just finished the ISEB Foundation, and
well done.
Thank you. One of the things because I come from a finance background, and they kept using the word domain, which made me cringe. What's all your definitions of domain?
From my working experience at the moment, it means a department within the organisation that I'm working with, because I feed directly into a domain department with my knowledge and my team's deliverables. Domain, I think, means different things to different people.
Yes, if I could carry on.
yeah.
I think from my perspective, it's an area of expertise. It's a specific area of knowledge that I or others have accumulated that they can then relate and share. So it's a domain expert, if you like, around that. I'm sure others have other definitions.
One of my degrees is in ecology. I would call it where people or animals live. So
Isn't this something that can sort of keep away from? Because most every time I've read domain, there's always been another word that's much better. Like when I was reading it with the IIBA, it was sector. That's the word that business recognise. If you said to anyone in business domain, some of them might know of DNS, but that's about it. They wouldn't recognise the expressions you've been using.
Feed that back in. It's all good grist to the mill. Some people just accept a word like domain and put their own understanding background to it. Other people question, is that what we need to use? Different strokes for different folks.
So I think we can go for one more question, and then I don't know what sort of time you're planning on, Simon. I think this could go all night, but I think I want one more question, and then we can probably adjourn and have more discussions afterwards. So one more question. That was simple.
Oh.
Saved.
I was curious about your gator, because at one point you mentioned it was a negative comment. Oh no, what was it? Somebody disagreed or something. It wasn't clear as to why you threw the gator.
Sorry. So it might have been that somebody didn't look for the pluses in the idea that somebody said, oh, here's an idea, and somebody didn't think about the pluses. They went straight in and attacked that issue or that idea.
But that would come under the I in point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but
So it's just a case of mistiming.
Possibly. When we were when you were brainstorming ideas, people may have not really. It was quite new to us. We might not have fully absorbed point during that, and it just kind of came out. So it's that gator brain is there to protect us, and sometimes it just does appear. It's understanding that we have one and how to look at methods and techniques that we can kind of reduce its impact.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good idea. I just kind of curious.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, panel.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
indeed.
thank you.
Thank you.